Hello, I'm breaking all the rules here. I am coming with very much left of field, with a very much out of nowhere, complete departure from what I normally do in this channel. Today I am reviewing Ghosts of Manila by Mark Kram. Now, I reread this because I did a book repatriation video a few weeks ago. I brought this back from my parents. I hadn't read this book for almost 20 years. And please join me in a little story, and then I'll go into review as to why I really enjoyed this book. So, being Spanish and moving to the UK when I was 18, what did I know about boxing? Nothing at all, because in Spain, boxing, nothing at all. And then I think it was in my third year of university when someone stuck a videotape, remember those VHSs, of a documentary called When We Were Kings. I didn't know anything about it, and I was mesmerized by what I watched. It was truly amazing, and then I ended up buying the DVD myself a few years later. So I got introduced to that golden era of heavyweights. And then over the years, I started reading a little bit more. And nowadays, thanks to YouTube, there's a whole vast wealth of information and the ability to rewatch those classic fights. And it's something I do in my spare time. I do really enjoy watching videos of boxing videos, the classic fights and the analysis and the stories and the legend behind it. There are some really great channels out there, but just to mention three of them: Rami's Corner, although what does he know about boxing? Joe Vincent, no one brings it home like Joe Vincent, and the Modern Martial Artist, who actually specializes in sort of breaking down fights and showing you the technicality of why the boxers did what they did and how things went down. The other two channels are more about sort of commentary, documentaries, which are done to a degree that you do not find on mainstream streaming services. And it's the joy and the wonder of the internet. And I'll leave links in the description below. But anyway, so this book is very thin. It's only 232 pages. Obviously focuses on that legendary fight, the Thriller in Manila, which was the third fight between Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier for the heavyweight world champion belt title thing. And it sort of examines the context and the history of really personal hatred between these two boxers. Now we need to understand the slightly controversial book because it takes up very much, it's a deconstruction of Muhammad Ali. Now, it doesn't take anything away from the boxer that he was. Muhammad Ali, probably the greatest boxer of all time, certainly heavyweight, pound for pound, maybe there with Sugar Ray Robinson. But anyway, it doesn't go into the boxing, it goes into the personal. And Mark Kram takes a very, very critical approach to Muhammad Ali, which you hardly get to see. So he sort of deconstructs the myth of Ali as the civil rights fighter that he really was. His involvement with the black Muslims, the Nation of Islam in the US, and the way he treated, in particular, Joe Frazier. So he contrasts the two upbringings and the two personalities. That Muhammad Ali revolutionized boxing and the pre-fight conferences and how he sold fights and hyped up his fights. But it really shows the dark side of Muhammad Ali, the person, and how he really was most unkind to Joe Frazier, the way he denigrated Joe Frazier. And also in his personal life, how, I think Ali was married 4 times. When he was stripped of the belt because of his stance against the Vietnam War, he actually borrowed money from Frazier, and then he repaid him, calling him all sorts of names, racial slurs, putting him down, questioning his intelligence, basically just denigrating him to a point where Frazier actually hated Ali. And before, I think it was the first fight, another classic, the fight of the century, I think it was called, Joe Frazier in the dressing room, got down on his knees and prayed to God to help him kill Ali. I mean, that's and that resentment Joe Fraser carried all the way to his grave. If you're not if you're into boxing, I'm sure you've watched the Thriller in Manila. I finally managed to watch the full fight a few years ago. I haven't watched it in full yet, but I've never seen two boxers go at each other so much. I mean, you got the classic middleweight fight between, um, come on, the war between Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hearns, but that only went for 3 rounds. Ali and Fraser went all the way to 14 rounds, and basically at the end, in the final round, Eddie Fudge, Fraser's coach, didn't let him go out for the final round because he has seen death in the ring before, and he was that close. And I think Ali's own view of the fight was that he never felt so close to death than during that fight. That fight took a serious toll on both fighters, and Ali, unfortunately, carried on his professional career for way longer than he should have had, and he paid for that physically, developing Parkinson's fairly early in his life. Now, as I said, it's a most unkind depiction of Ali the person. Mark Kram was a sports writer for Sports Illustrated and Squire for a long, long time, from the middle to late 60s all the way to the 90s. So he pretty much saw Ali's professional career from the beginning. And but everything in the book is a first-hand account. There is no bibliography here, there is no research done. This is all Mark Kram's view of things as he saw them and as he heard them. Now, the only thing here that I've got is that there are a lot of quotation conversations that took place. And the book was written in 2000 or came out in 2001. Might have been written in the year 2000 or so. So how much could he remember conversations from 35 years ago and quote them there? I don't know. That's stuff. And also, why wait so long a time to write the book? I haven't done extensive research on it. I don't know how the Muhammad Ali camp received the book. I'm assuming that not very well at all. But there you go. This book is actually full of praise by really renowned publications. So Arena Magazine, The Times, The Evening Standard, The Times, The Daily Mail, I guess not. But yeah, I think Mark Kram's approach when writing the book was to really bring Ali down from that mythological figure that was created, and he questions Ali's real intelligence. He pretty much portrays him as being manipulated by the Nation of Islam, which probably that was the case, and also takes a dig at how Joe Fraser and his legacy has been treated in the US. It echoed the Philly rant by Bill Burr, where he was a world heavyweight champion, and when the city of Philadelphia decided to raise a statue to a legendary boxer, they decided to do on Rocky, a fictional one, when you had a homegrown champion there. So it does contrast the legacy of the two fighters and their personalities and how they were. So I don't think overall that the book can be very far off the mark, much as we want to just stay with Ali the boxer and not Ali the person. But there you go. That is my take on it. As usual, thank you ever so much for watching. I'm not entirely sure I'll be doing a lot of sports reviews or boxing or anything like that, but this book really has grabbed me over the last 3 days, and I just wanted to put this out there as something different. Until next time, please take loads and loads of care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.